Hello students, I am Pawan Kumar Singh, your physics teacher from Shioti Educational Group. Today we will start the chapter number 9 of science, that is force and laws of motion. In this chapter we will study the following points. The points are introduction, balanced and unbalanced forces, first law of motion, inertia and mass, second law of motion, third law of motion and conservation of momentum. Introduction. In our everyday life, we observe that some effort is required to put a stationary object into motion or to stop the moving object. Actually, this concept of force is based on the push, hit, or pull the object. The force applied on a body can bring about the following changes. It can change its position, it can change the speed of the body, it can change the direction of motion of a body. The following diagram represent the different effect of forces. Pushing, pulling or hitting the object change the state of motion. A spring expand on application of forces. A spherical rubber ball become long as we apply the force on it. Balanced and unbalanced forces. Balanced force. Balanced force do not change the state of rest or motion of an object. In a game of tug of war, with both the team pull the rope with equal and opposite force, then the rope remains stationary, as the force acting on it are equal and opposite, and their resultant is zero. Now come to the unbalanced force. If an unbalanced force is applied on the object, there will be a change, either in the speed or in the direction of motion. Again, go to the same type of example. In the tug of war, usually weaker team is pulled by the other team, which is stronger one. In this case, force are not equal and opposite. We shall now study the exact relation between the force applied and the motion of an object on which the force is applied. This was studied by the Sir Isaac Newton. Actually, he gave the three basic laws of motion, in which the first law of motion was an object remains in a state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change the state by an applied force. Actually, the first law of motion is also known as law of inertia. So the next topic is inertia and mass. According to Galileo experiment, objects have a tendency to continue in their state of rest or of uniform until an external force acts on it. The coin cardboard example will help to understand the observation of Galileo experiment. You can see the diagram. According to this diagram, we will place a cardboard on an empty tumbler and a coin on the cardboard as shown in the figure. Now flick the cardboard with the finger. We will observe that the cardboard moves fast, whereas the coin continue in the state of rest and hence drop into the tumbler. Actually, the mass of an object is measured by its inertia, and thus the massive object possesses the more inertia than the lighter one. Now, inertia can be defined as the property of matter by virtue of which it possesses any change in its state of rest or of uniform motion along a straight line. Inertia can be classified as inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. Actually, the tendency of an object to resist any change in its state of rest is called inertia of rest. Similarly, the tendency of an object to resist any change in state of its motion is called inertia of motion. And the tendency of an object to resist any change in its state of direction is called inertia of direction. Second law of motion. Before go to the second law of motion, we should familiar to the term momentum. So what is momentum? Actually, the force required to stop a moving object depend on the mass, and it is also directly proportional to its velocity. So if we want to define the momentum of an object is defined as the product of its mass and velocity. It is denoted by P, and the formula will be P equal to m into V, where m is the mass of an object and V is the velocity of an moving object. It is a vector quantity. The SI unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. Now come to the statement of second law of motion. The second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of force. Mathematical formulation of second law of motion. In this slide, we will see the derivation of formula of force. That is very standard formula, F equals to m into A. Now consider a body of mass m having an initial velocity u. Let the body be acted upon by some force F for time t, such that its final velocity is v. Now initial momentum equal to mu and the final momentum equals to mv. The change in momentum in time t equals to mv minus mu. Now take m as a common, then it will be m bracket start v minus u bracket close. Now the change in momentum in unit time equals to m v minus u upon t. But we already know that a equals to v minus u upon t. A is the acceleration. Now replace v minus u upon t by small a. Therefore, the change in momentum in unit time equals to ma. And we already know the formula of the force and the definition of the force. It is the rate of change in momentum. So F equals to m into A. If we talk about the unit of the force, it will be kilogram meter per second square. And the SI unit of the force is Newton. Now come to the Newton's third law of motion. Imagine that you are watching a volleyball match and suddenly the ball comes towards you. Due to your reflex, you hit the ball so that you do not get hurt. The ball moves away from you due to the action of your hand on it. But definitely your hand pain due to the impact of the ball. That is, whenever two bodies interact with each other, each exert a force on the other. The force exerted by one of the two bodies is called the action force, while the force exerted by other is called the reaction force. In this example, the force exerted by you on the ball is the action of force, and the force exerted by the ball on your hand is the reaction force. Now come to the statement of Newton's third law of motion. To every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Now see the another example. When a gun is fired, it exerts a forward force on the bullet. The bullet exerts an equal and opposite reaction force on the gun. This results in the recoil of the gun. Now come to the experimental proof of Newton's third law of motion. Couple two spring balance A and B as shown in the figure. When we pull the balance B, both the balance show the same reading, indicating that both the action and reaction forces are equal and opposite. In this case, the pull of either of the two spring balance can be regarded as action and that of the other balance as the reaction. Now the two spring balance A and B coupled together. We can see the diagram. Conservation of momentum. Suppose two objects of mass ma and mb are traveling in the same direction along a straight line at a different velocity. Please keep in mind that ua must be greater than ub for this derivation. In the diagram which is given below, we can see the different situations of these two balls. Situations are before collision, after collision. Now, if we will talk about the rate of change of momentum of ball A during the collision, it will be ma va minus u upon t. Similarly, for ball B, it will be mb vb minus ub upon t. Now, according to third law of motion, the force FAB exerted by ball A on the ball B and the force FBA exerted by the ball B on ball A must be equal and opposite to each other. Therefore, FAB equals to minus of FBA. By solving these equations, we get the result, that is MAUA plus MBUB equals to MAVA plus MBVB. After this derivation, we can say the sum of momenta of two objects before collision is equal to the sum of momenta after the collision, provided there is no external unbalanced force acting on them. This is the law of conservation of momentum. We can also say the total momentum of the two objects is unchanged or conserved by the collision. Okay students, this chapter has been completed from my side. I will suggest you to go through this chapter by NCERT book again. Thank you students.